It's 10% of your grade. It's a whole letter of your grade. All right. Today's date is November 7th, and we're going to graph and write inequalities. All right, graph and write inequalities. I'm not done grading all the homework, so I'll do that in a couple minutes. Oh, that worked. All right. So, second day of inequalities. Yesterday we did pretty easy. I'm going to call them the easy inequalities, which you will have on your homework today. Today you'll have this on your homework. So, yesterday I gave you x is greater than or equal to 35, right? And I taught you how to graph it. What was the first step in graphing this inequality? What did you have to do first?
You have to draw a number line.
Number line.
Put 35 in the middle.
Put 35 in the middle. I like it, guys. Good job remembering that. So 35 in the middle, and then 2 below and 2 above. So tell me 2 numbers above and 2 numbers below.
34 and 32.
Good. Just like a number line. 34, 33, 36, 37. Yeah, so we're going to put a circle on top of this number, right? Is it shaded or not shaded?
Shaded.
Shaded. Why? You're correct.
Because the line is equal to 2.
Perfect. That line there makes it shaded. Now, which way do I graph?
Greater than.
To the right. Greater than, so to the right. Did we talk about the shortcut?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the shortcut?
Oh, that.
The inequality?
Yeah, the inequality is where it's pointing.
Yeah, so,
Opposite way.
no.
You go the opposite way.
No.
That's how I did it. I did the opposite way.
And you were all wrong? I haven't graded them.
Like it goes like this, I go like this.
But look.
That's wrong.
You see how they match?
I know, so like it's like this, I go like this. It was just like that, I go like that.
He's saying if it goes since it's
He's saying the arrow where it points.
Yeah, well, the arrow. It's the arrow that's what Sophia's saying.
Oh.
It's like an arrow. So the arrow is pointing that way. So this arrow is pointing in that direction, right? So this one is also pointing in that direction. So they're both going this way.
I did that.
Totally. So those were the easy ones. Those were the easy ones. Now let's do the quotation hard ones. Quotation hard. Are they? Not really.
No.
Actually, second period did a really good job on this. So I was like, yes. So 10 is less than x. All right. So what makes this hard?
The X.
unknown number.
The X is the last.
The x is the last number. Very good. So you see how x doesn't come first? But all of the problems from yesterday, even on the worksheet, all of the problems from yesterday, what always was written first? The x, 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 x. Now it's last. And now I call it a hard problem. And the reason it's hard is because of the shading. So let's start off the same way. You start off the same way. 10 in the middle. What goes here? 9, 8. What goes over here? 11, 12. All right. Open circle or close? Okay. So has that changed? No. But wait. Now it's going to change. 10 is less than x. Which way am I going to shade? The left or the right? It would be the left if the x came first. But the x did not come first.
So it's going backwards.
It has to go backwards. So if the x is not first, you have to shade backwards. If the x is not first, you have to shade backwards. Or change it. You have to do the opposite of this. So, how would I rewrite this so the x comes first? x, and then this, what's the opposite? Flip it around. Greater than 10. These two things are the same. These two things are the same. They're exact. They say the exact same thing. They're just written differently. Which one is easier to graph? The one that has the x in front. So when the x is not in front, you have to do the opposite. You have to flip it. You flip everything. I just did. So which way do I shade?
Right.
To the right. But remember, you all told me to the left. I'm gonna pretend like you didn't tell me, but it's hard to forget. Yeah. So if the number comes first, there's two ways to think about it. Shade opposite, just shade opposite. Or you can rewrite it. Up to you. What your brain can handle. Okay?
Isn't it easy just to shade?
Huh?
Isn't it easy just to shade?
Yeah, just remember opposite shade. This is now what we do with whatever Dylan was telling us like 5 minutes ago. We're going to go with that. The opposite. He was right. It's like he saw the future. Yesterday, he was not right, though.
What?
You were not supposed to shade opposite yesterday. You shade opposite today. So what if I give you 20 greater than or equal to x? It starts off the same way. Draw your number line. That starts off the same way. Number line. What number goes in the middle? 20. Open or close circle? Close. You're correct. Why is it closed? That little extra little line. The equal to part. Okay. That hasn't changed, right? So half of this hasn't changed. Now, this you can think about it as like making me sad. That's my sad face. So whenever you see me sad, you give me a chocolate and I'll be fine. No, every time you see me sad, you do the opposite, right? It was like keep, change, opposite, keep, change, flip. So you can rewrite it, x, 20, and then flip this. See, I flipped it. It's the opposite. Or you just think, shade the opposite. If it's pointing this way, I'm going to shade the opposite. This only happens when your number is in the front. We don't like the number in the front. We like the number in the back. So here we're going to shade to the left. Even though it's pointing to the right, we're going to shade the opposite. Does that make sense to you? Because it's different, so we shade.
Do we have to show us changing the topic?
So it depends. If your brain can process, oh, just shade opposite, then you're cool. Shade opposite. If your brain's like, I don't get that, I like it, that's my arrow, it tells me where to shade, okay, then rewrite it. So if your brain needs this, then rewrite it. If your brain can handle this, I'm cool with it. You better get them right, though.
Easy peasy.
Let me check. I'm gonna like check your work from yesterday. All right, start that one before I do. I'm just gonna casually correct your work from yesterday. No one in particular. I'm just gonna randomly choose a student from the class to grade, you know, yesterday's work. Just
with the D.
You know, that starts with a D and then has a Y in it. You know, just random.
Then you should get mine.
Totally. Hey, is yours spelled with a Y in there? Are you the Jaden with the Y? Oh, you see you have a Y.
But he doesn't have a D.
Yes, he does.
Jaden.
Jaden.
From a Jaden.
Jaden?
A Jaden doesn't know how to spell Jaden. I love it.
Jaden without a D.
I love it. I'm just gonna like, you know, randomly choose a kid.
You should totally choose mine.
No, I don't want to.
Why?
I don't.
Stop.
D.
I got a good grade.
Dylan Martinez. No, he did it right.
What if you didn't?
I'm checking it. Let me check the back there.
For this one, is it close to the right?
Use ChatGPT crazy.
All right. So this one. So Dylan, you honestly did scare me when you were saying like opposite, and I was like, wait, what? No. Now, do I fear that now you're gonna do the opposite of all of them?
No.
Yes, I fear that. But you're only gonna do the opposite when the X is not first. So here, you see how it's pointing this direction, but we have to shade the opposite. Only when the number comes first. And I'll be honest with you, in 7th grade, they usually don't come first. It's usually the X is first in 7th grade. Because you're beginning, so they don't like throw the hard ones at you. You did great. Yeah, but we're only doing the front side of this one right now.
I'm scared.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I see it. All right, no pants on fire.
Liar, pants on fire.
All right. Okay, I'm going to start you off. Oh, start you off. All right, I'm going to do the first one. Where do I put the circle? On what number? On -2, open circle. So that doesn't change. Open circle on the -2. All right. Now, we have to do the shade opposite. We have to shade the opposite because the number comes first. And I'm not happy about it. When the number comes first, I'm not happy. So which way do I shade on number 1? The left or the right?
Left.
To the left, because we have to shade the opposite on this worksheet. Shade the opposite. All right, number 2. Where do I put the circle?
On the positive 5.
On the 5. Is it going to be open or closed? Closed on the 5. Do I shade left or do I shade right? Right, because we have to shade the opposite of whatever this is. We have to shade the opposite today. All right, we're okay? Okay, set timer for 5 minutes.
What?
Her?
Relax. All right, Jaden, you worry about yourself.
How we do the back, Miss Malia?
I didn't ask you to do the back. At least not yet. So we're going back to our notes. This is the second part. Now we're going to be writing, writing inequalities. Of course. Writing inequalities. Writing inequalities. Inequalities are like the greater than, less than. So those are called inequalities. Okay? Kind of like, what do you call add, subtract, multiply, and divide together? Like, what are they?
Inequalities.
They're called operations. Add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Those are called operations. Inequalities are less than, greater than. Those are inequalities. All right. So this time, we're going to write it. Now what we do is, I'm going to start with a number line. Quick, give me a number.
78.
100.
All right, I heard 78.
Let's go.
All right, Bella, Ethan, Justin, let's write this down. And give me 2 numbers that are below 78.
68. 68.
77 and 76.
Good.
79.
Good. All right. Quick, open or close circle.
Open.
Open, I heard.
Open.
Quick, left or right.
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 All right.
Keep on breaking up.
Okay, so we built this inequality together, right? Now, I want you to tell me what's the inequality that we just created. Now, what I always want you to start with, I always want you, obviously to make it easier for yourself, I want you to always start with the X. Always start with the X. Do not start with the number. The number actually makes it harder. So, start with the number. Where is my circle? What number is it on?
78.
All right, so that's what we're going to, oh no, I'm sorry. We're going to start with the X and then the number.
Greater than.
Okay. Okay. Because we started with our x, we made it easier for ourselves. I'm going to trace this.
Greater than.
You see the green one that I traced? Guess what I'm going to use?
Greater than.
The same symbol. The greater than. Very good. So, Jaden, pay attention because it is extremely easy. But if you're not watching, Jaden. So, and that's it. That's the answer I'm looking for. X is greater than 78.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's try another one. Number line? Quick, give me a number.
76.
30. All right, 2 numbers above and 2 numbers below 30, please. All right, write it down. Write it down. Open or close?
Close.
I like it. Left or right?
Wait, Mr. Mendy, is it possible to get both?
No. I think you asked me that yesterday, right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. What are we always going to start with?
X.
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 X. Where is a circle on?
30.
30. Okay. So you always start with X, and then you put the number. That's really easy. Now, trace this
Less than.
and write it down. So,
Less than equal to. Equal to.
perfect. Why is it equal to?
Because of the line.
Well,
Because of the. It's what's it called?
shaded. It's colored in.
Circle.
Love it. So this is shaded, so you're going to add that. For those of you who understand, it's shaded, so you add the equal to part. Great. You're going to be using that in high school as well. So this does not go away in high school. And your graphs actually become a little bit harder, but you're still going to be using the same idea of, oh, is it a closed circle or an open circle? In high school, you still use that. Okay? So I'm teaching you the foundation of it. And then in high school, they'll teach you the hard part, which I love. All right. Give me a number.
7.
What?
37.
7?
7, 8, 9.
All right. 7, 8, 9. That's why we're scared of 7.
That's what I said 7.
When you get us a math joke.
When you graph this one. All right. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Open or closed?
Open.
You heard closed first. Left or right?
Right.
25.
36.
All right. What do we always start with?
X.
X. Good. Very good. What number do I use? 7.
One mouth.
Wherever the circle is, that's the number you're going to use.
Greater than or equal to. Underline.
Greater than or equal to. Good use of vocabulary.
Call it underline.
We're okay with this?
Yeah.
All right, one more problem. Oh, we just did 7.
Do 9. Let's
Do 6 because 7.
What
was 6 is made of 7?
20.
100.
All right,
270.
I like 100.
16.
Last period did 1,000,000 and it was a disaster.
Can we do that?
Because they couldn't tell me. Fine, we can do 1,000,000.
Infinite.
Infinite.
They could not say the number below 1,000,000.
That's not 999,000.
999.
Very good. They kept saying 9,000, and then they were like, wait, that doesn't make sense. So very good on knowing, you two. It's
I should go to
999,999.
Close. 999.
What the flip?
They couldn't pronounce it. It was interesting.
And then 9.
999,000.
Can't write that much.
1 million.
And then
what?
1 million. 1 million. 1.
Yeah, my next future paycheck.
No, what? And then 1 million too. 2 billion.
All right, open or close circle?
Open.
Open, I heard. Left or right?
Right.
All right, tell me what that answer is. Squeeze it in there.
Greater than a million. X greater than a million. Yeah.
Buddy. No. It's Tuesday, not Wednesday.
That makes no sense. All right. What is the answer to this problem?
X greater than 1 million.
X is greater than
1 million.
1 million.
1 quadrillion dollars.
1 million.
Is this the word?
Paper.
Yeah.
Paper. What? Another one? What?
Did you do the back
No, I did.
All right. Here we go.
Do we need our notebook?
If you need the notes, I think you're okay. I'll check in a second. All right. Okay, we're going to start with this one. The back of the other worksheet is like level 5 because you're skip counting. This one, it's pretty straightforward, pretty easy.
The one that we're doing right now?
Yeah, it's really just like what we just did in our notes. All right, number 1. Okay, what do we always start with?
X.
X.
Then we do the.
Okay, so write that down. Make sure you're on the right side.
With the line.
The holes are on the left. Bella, flip it.
4.
With the line under, which would be
Yeah.
Wait, what side are we on? Underline.
Okay, the holes are on the left.
less.
Okay, what number is a circle on?
The left. 4.
4.
And
So
it's closed.
that's what we do. So that's how I get those two things. X is always there. And then you look for the circle. That's your number. Now, look for the blue line. And the arrow at the end of the blue line, trace the arrow. Trace the arrow. Bella, trace the arrow. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to break it down so you understand. Okay, this arrow that I just traced literally is the same symbol I use in there. So these two things, you see how they match? And then you go back to your circle and it's shaded, which means I'm going to add the little line. That goes back to the notes from yesterday. These notes that I said if it has this extra little line at the bottom, it's going to be a shaded circle. I see that it's a shaded circle. It's colored in, so I'm going to add the little line at the bottom. That's what that blue circle means. Now, let's look at number 3. Let's look at number 3. What do we always start with? X. Where is the circle on? What number is the circle on? -16. Very good. Now, I trace the blue line, the blue arrow. I'm going to literally trace it on my paper, the blue arrow. And whatever I traced here, I'm literally going to use here. Now, is the circle colored in? Or is it white? It's white, so I'm done. There's no extra little line. We're done. The extra little line comes when that is closed or shaded. Yeah. All right, let me pause the video for a second.